That's a cool little mural on the side of that building.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I am High and Mighty Joe, back with the lovely wife. We are on our way to a special vlog for you today. It is the childhood home of late night show host David Letterman. As you guys may or may not know, David Letterman was born right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. There's not a lot of stories to per se tell about David Letterman as a child, but we do have a few little tidbits and facts that we're going to tell you. We'll go ahead and show you his home and tell you the very interesting fact and most important moment in my life with David Letterman, and which is also probably one of the most famous David Letterman stories that there ever was. And that would be the slap of Andy Kaufman by Jerry Lawler. David Letterman said it was the first time that he ever felt like he lost control of the show, or of a show. And so we are on our way to his house, and we'll see you there. Alright, well, we have arrived. Here we are in front of David Letterman's childhood home. I guess we should go ahead and get the story going. The story, I guess, begins April 12th, 1947, right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. David Letterman was born to Harry and Dorothy Letterman. They had 3 children. David has 2 sisters. And I believe they lived right here in this home. This was their address. Of course, now David started his on-air career, I guess you could say, in 1969 when he began working as an announcer and weekend weatherman for WLWI, which is now WTHR, here in Indianapolis. And then, of course, he moved on. He moved to Los Angeles and began performing stand-up comedy at the Comedy Store. He was later hired by Jimmy Walker, star of the CBS sitcom Good Times, as a writer. I believe that was about 1975. So that is where this story begins, right here in this little home. This is the childhood home of David Letterman. Now, again, like I said, I could tell you a many of things about David Letterman. I mean, we could go, way far back. Now, he has stayed close to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he was always fond of collecting model cars. So while growing up, he admired his father's skills to entertain people with jokes and stuff like that, and make a party more lively. Now, his father did suffer a heart attack when David was young, when he was a young boy, and he eventually died of a second heart attack at the age of 57. Now, even losing his father, who was extremely close with David, he would go on to accomplish great things in his life, and one of those, of course, would be attending Broad Ripple High School. He graduated and he worked at the local Altus supermarket. He studied radio and television at Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, and he graduated in 1969 after completing a 4-year double major in journalism, news, and telecommunications. But the story that we all came to hear about and know is the one that I'm here to tell you today. And it happened in 1982. Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman appeared on Late Night with David Letterman. And I don't believe that anybody at the time could have known exactly what this would have stemmed into with a relationship between mainstream celebrities and professional wrestling. Now, of course, television today and professional wrestling today is heavily mainstreamed, and celebrities seem to be a huge part of that. So it kind of all goes with it today. I mean, today we know the WWE as the place that is constantly clamoring for celebrity attention. I mean, there's even an entire wing in the WWE Hall of Fame for celebrities, including Drew Carey, Mike Tyson, Pete Rose, Kid Rock, and the list goes on. But back then, it wasn't really too much to have a lot of celebrities in professional wrestling. Now, before Andy met Jerry Lawler, the self-professed non-comedian and performance artist, he began incorporating wrestling into his nightclub act in Los Angeles. Now, he was inspired by the world of kayfabe and the over-the-top personalities and wrestling characters that Kaufman had seen on television, and Kaufman proclaimed himself as the intergender champion of the world. Night after night, Kaufman would bring out a wrestling mat and a referee, which would be writing partner and best friend Bob Zamuda, and challenge women from the audience. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Kaufman even went so far as to approach Vince McMahon Sr. after a WWF show in New York to kind of pitch his idea. However, that did not go over quite as well as we would know. Now, it was the initial rejection that led Kaufman to working with Jerry Lawler. Kaufman was introduced to Lawler by his best friend and legendary wrestling journalist, Bill Apter, who suggested that Kaufman work with Memphis territory icon Jerry the King Lawler. Now, from there, Kaufman would cut a series of promos on the city of Memphis itself, explaining that they didn't like soap and they didn't know how to use it, and they didn't know how to use their toilet paper, and they was from Memphis, Tennessee, and it was a great promo. And I'll be honest with you, as a wrestling personality, I am not sure that anyone could have done it any better. All of this was a build-up that led to Kaufman and Lawler finally meeting in the ring. Kaufman prepared by sending along a promo from Hollywood, stating, "I've wrestled a 327-pound woman, and I ain't afraid of you, Lawler, and I could wipe the floor with you," and all of this. And of course, it would end with a pile driver, and Andy Kaufman would be laid out in the middle of the ring. They would bring in an ambulance, and it was just something to see. That was definitely for sure. So please join us again next time, right here on the Top Vloggers, as we take you to another location for another great vlog. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If you like what we're doing, give this video a big thumbs up. And you can also support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/thetopvloggers. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you so much. And as always, Top Vloggers, out.